Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. They say time heals all wounds. I disagree. Time doesn't heal, it reveals. It reveals who you truly are, who they really were, and in my case, it revealed just how much someone can underestimate a woman who once begged them to stay. I remember the cold slam of the door. The sound of his suitcase wheels over the marble floor. His voice, so indifferent, as he said, "You're not going anywhere, Mary. You'll always be just her. Just her. The girl from the South Side. The waitress with calloused hands and a heart full of dreams he never believed in." He walked out on me without a glance back, chasing his ambition, and a woman with a bigger bank account. But that was 10 years ago. Now I walk into his boardroom in 6-inch Louboutins, my curls pinned into the kind of power bun you only earn through survival. And the man who once told me I'd never be more than his temporary girl. He doesn't even recognize me. Until I speak. And by the time he does, it's too late. I used to believe that love could overcome anything. That if you loved someone hard enough, deep enough, purely enough, they'd eventually see you. But I was wrong. My name is Mary Adams, and I learned that fairy tales lie. That sometimes, love isn't about who you hold in your heart, but who holds power over your dreams. 10 years ago, I lived in a showbox studio above a noisy pizza shop in Chicago. The walls were thin, the radiator barely worked, and my dreams, they were barely breathing. But I had him. Elliot Kingsley. The man with the smooth voice, Wall Street ambition, and a smile that made me ignore the red flags bleeding through our relationship. He'd say I didn't fit in with his circles. That I was too loud, too black, too ambitious. But I thought he loved me. I thought we were building something. Then came the promotion party, his, not mine, in a penthouse I wasn't invited to. I still remember how he said it. "Mary, I need someone who complements the life I'm building. You're a phase. A beautiful one. But that's all." He left me standing in the rain that night, in heels I couldn't afford, holding back tears I didn't want to admit were falling. What he didn't know, what no one knew, was that I had just gotten accepted into a tech accelerator in London. I never told him. He never asked. He never cared. So I left. I took that heartbreak, folded it neatly, and buried it beneath ambitions so fierce it could set oceans on fire. I didn't want revenge. I wanted respect. I wanted power. And I was about to get both. You ever walk into a room and feel like the air freezes around you? That's what happened the moment I walked into the Sterling and Company boardroom. 12 long years had passed since he last saw me. Yet there he was, seated at the head of the table, casually sipping from a tumbler of scotch, looking like the past never existed. His hair was a little grayer, his confidence just as loud, his arrogance somehow deeper. And when our eyes met, he stared right through me like I was a stranger. But I wasn't. I was the woman he left. The one he ghosted without a word. The woman who once loved him with every fiber of her being. The same woman who now owned 51% of his company. "Gentlemen," I said, my voice crisp, calm, with just enough edge to silence the room. "Let's begin." There was a long, awkward pause as the board members glanced between me and him. "Damon." He finally broke the silence. "Excuse me, Who are you? I gave a slow, knowing smile. I go by many titles now, CEO, investor, strategist. But once, long ago, you just called me Nia. His glass slipped slightly from his hand. His jaw twitched. And then, finally, recognition cracked across his face like a thunderclap. No. It can't be. Oh, it is. 12 years ago, he dumped me without explanation. No call. No closure. One morning he was mine, the next, gone. And like a fool, I had begged. I'd cried. I'd spent months trying to understand why I wasn't enough. But life has a way of making you into what people said you could never be. I built a tech empire from the ground up, educated myself in silence, and clawed my way through rooms that were never built to hold black women like me. And now, here I was, about to take over the very company that owed its success to undervaluing people like me. Damon cleared his throat and tried to gather himself. This is a mistake. You can't. Oh, but I can, I said, opening the manila folder and sliding it across the glossy mahogany table. The acquisition finalized this morning. I own the majority. Effective immediately, I'm your boss. A stunned hush fell over the room. I turned to the rest of the board. We'll be restructuring. And I'll be reviewing every decision Damon Sterling has made in the last 5 years. Especially the ones that somehow made his personal bank account fatter while employee benefits shrank. Damon looked like he was about to protest, but I cut him off with a single raised hand. You walked away from me like I was disposable. But I built a billion-dollar legacy while you were too busy trying to forget me. I stood, gathering my things. This isn't revenge, Damon, I said, locking eyes with him one last time. It's justice, served cold, in a penthouse, over scotch you no longer deserve. I could feel his eyes drilling into my back as I left the boardroom, but I didn't turn around. Not yet. Not until I made him feel every ounce of the weight he'd once dumped on me. Back in the executive suite, my suite now, I stood by the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. The same city where I once scraped by on scraps, building code by code, client by client, heartache by heartache. The receptionist buzzed. Mr. Sterling is here to see you. He's insistent. I took a breath. Send him in. The door swung open, and Damon stormed in like a man betrayed. You had this planned, didn't you? He snapped. This was all some long con. I tilted my head. Funny. Isn't that what you did to me 12 years ago? He flinched. Just a little. Good. Nia, I didn't just disappear because I wanted to, he said. You think I didn't love you? I folded my arms, heart pounding. Then why? Why ghost me like I meant nothing? He closed his eyes, jaw tight, as if dragging out a memory he'd buried deep. My father, he finally said. He gave me an ultimatum. If I didn't end things with you, he'd cut me off. No trust fund, no inheritance, no seat at Sterling and Company. I blinked, stunned. That hadn't been what I expected to hear. He said you were a distraction, Damon continued, the words bitter in his mouth. He said a black woman from South LA wasn't fit for the Sterling legacy. My stomach turned, but I kept my voice steady. So you chose wealth over love. He didn't deny it. He didn't have to. I thought I could build enough power, come back for you one day, but then, he laughed bitterly, you vanished. Like a ghost. No, I said softly. You taught me how to vanish. I circled the desk and looked him square in the eye. You let me believe I was unworthy. You left me to rebuild my life from scratch while you inherited power you didn't even earn. And now you want redemption because I came back stronger. I want a chance, he whispered. To explain. To make things right. I hesitated. For the first time since walking back into his world, I felt a crack in the armor I'd forged. I don't know what you want from me, Damon, I said. But you should know this, the woman you left behind. She died. The one standing in front of you now. She doesn't need you to feel whole. And then, quietly, I added, but maybe she still wants the truth. He looked at me like he'd never truly seen me before. I'm not asking for forgiveness, he said. I'm asking for a chance to help you build something better. I didn't answer. I just walked back to the window. The skyline glittered, reflecting 1,000 broken promises and brand new beginnings. I stood in my glass-walled corner office, watching Damon's reflection in the window more than the view outside. He hadn't moved since I turned away. Neither had I. It was as if time paused, me suspended in the echo of the past, him trapped in the consequences of his choices. Finally, I broke the silence. Why now, Damon? Why come to me now, after I've rebuilt everything you destroyed? He shifted uneasily, his voice low but urgent. Because I saw your name on the merger papers. And I felt ashamed. Proud. Shocked. All of it. But mostly terrified. I turned slowly, one brow raised. Terrified. He nodded. Terrified that the woman I once knew, who I thought couldn't survive without me, had done the one thing I never expected. She outgrew me. I felt a chill run through me. Because he wasn't wrong. I didn't just outgrow you, Damon. I eclipsed you. He stared, wounded but mesmerized. I knew that look. It was the same one he used to give me when I fixed his car, hacked his college assignments, or built our dreams on nothing but coffee and ambition. Only now, he was looking at a stranger. I walked to the conference table, picked up the merger proposal between Sterling & Co. and my firm, Ether Global, and flipped it open. You'll need to renegotiate, I said flatly. I don't do handouts. And I don't merge with companies run on ego and nepotism. You're seriously going to walk away from this deal? Even with everything on the line? I paused. Then looked him straight in the eye. Watch me. He smirked, but it was weak, crumbling. You've changed. No, I said coldly. I grew. There's a difference. Just then, my assistant knocked. Miss Monroe, the press is here for your Forbes feature shoot. I nodded and waved her in. The look on Damon's face as the crew filed in, with lights, cameras, and a big foam board that read "The Comeback Queen," was priceless. As the makeup artist dabbed my cheek, Damon stood frozen in place. You really became her, he whispered. The woman they said you'd never be. I looked at him one last time before sitting for the shoot. No, Damon. I became the woman you never believed I could be. The flashes went off. my name would be on every headline by morning. The woman who built an empire from heartbreak. The woman whose past no longer had the power to break her. And as Damon walked out, silently, slowly, I knew he felt it too. He hadn't just lost the love of his life. He'd lost the only woman who had ever truly seen him, and who now no longer needed to look back.